World. This is the Nerve of You podcast, episode 7. Hey, man, it's up. Shout out to everybody for joining us. First and foremost, man, I want to say follow me on Instagram at CBoogie Productions. Follow me on Instagram at CBoogie Productions. And y'all see the thumbnail, man. Y'all see the title tonight. Tonight, we're going to talk about should men put an expiration date on relationships, man. You know what I mean? That's what we're talking about here today. And, first and foremost, man, I would say this, real talk. In relationships, right, you never want to really abuse your position in certain things, but really, nobody's going to respect you in any relationship. And this is friends, co-workers, romantic, wife, husband, whatever. They really not going to respect you, man, unless you're willing to leave. That's just the reality of the situation, man. And like a lot of people don't understand that. Not to say that you got to hold it over somebody's head, because that's just too much. But at the end of the day, if somebody's abusing you or treating you a way that you don't think is savory, if you ain't willing to leave, man, then you pretty much lost in the sauce. That's just the way I see it. You dig? So a lot of time as men, we dealing with women or whatever, we got them in our life. And we don't really have a plan of action on how we going to do this relationship, man. And that's really one of the issues that I have. One of the issues that I have is, at the end of the day, a lot of people not teaching relationship skills, man. Straight up. Like a lot of people don't have the skill set, and a lot of people don't know what to do. And this is really men and women. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you think about that, Rose? A lot of men and women, they go into these relationships or situations or hookups, booty calls, and they don't have a plan. They don't have a plan of action, period. What you think about this?
I think that it's bad that, going into a plan going into a situation without a plan.
Right.
That's detrimental, to your future. So it's really bad.
Yeah, like that's what I think, man. I think, let me get into the expiration date piece and where this really came from and the origins of the expiration date. But what I wanted to do is I'm live streaming off both channels. And for everybody that's looking at me on my CBoogie Productions channel, I'm going to cut this off. Y'all go over to my Dime Game Division channel. That's the channel that the podcast is on. If you want to see the rest of it, go over there. We live from both channels. Go to my second channel. If you don't know, go in the description box and get it. And I'm going to cut this off right now.
I'll add the link.
All right, just give me 1 second. Let me get this straightened out, and we're going to be right back to it. Boom. All right, now we back. So check it out, right? For everybody in YouTube world, the expiration date piece. I was talking about this a little bit this morning on my live stream, right? Well, for people that don't know, I do live streams from time to time in the morning. Just a quick little motivational message is what I call it. And what happens is a lot of dudes, man, I'm talking about the good brothers, the good dudes, the intentional men, the dudes that know what they're doing. Their dime game is calibrated. Their game is tight. You dig? For a lot of dudes, man, they dealing with really the wrong type of women. You know what I'm saying? They dealing with women that's out their lane. They dealing with women they not on the same frequency with. And a lot of times, man, you had enough of that shit, man. You see what I'm saying? You did everything you can do to help this woman, to try to elevate this woman. You did everything you can do, to try to make her better. And then you realize, dog, I'm exhausting all of my resources. Facts. I ain't got nothing left. So you put an expiration date on that thing, man. You be like, look, here's how it's going to go, right? I'm going to give her to May 4th, to really get her stuff together, to get her shit right. And if she ain't got it right by May 4th, I'm out. And that's what I mean, the expiration date. And a lot of times we don't even know we got expiration dates on these relationships. Like, you don't really want to break up with your girl before Christmas. So a dude be like, yo, after the new year, I'm done. Some dudes is like, yo, when I get my tax money, I'm out. But you don't really want to break up for Valentine's Day. Yo, that be the expiration dates on these things, man. And a lot of dudes really got to keep that in mind, dog. When you exhausted all your resources, man, at the end of the day, you ain't got nothing left. Dog, you got to do what you got to do. Now, what you think about women, right, when they in relationships and they got a good dude, an intentional man, he got, character, do what he got to do, man of his word, integrity, all that shit. And you see these guys with a ratchet. You see these guys with a woman that don't deserve his time. From a woman's point of view, what would you say about that?
That's just, I just think it's just not good.
It's just not good.
I just think
it's just not good. It's just not good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's it. I mean, what?
Repeat the question.
That's it.
No, repeat the question.
The question is, what do you think when you see a man? He's a good dude. He's a man of integrity. He's an intentional man. He's doing what he's supposed to do, a man of his word. And you see him out, maybe in public, or you know him in your personal life, and he's with the wrong woman. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
And you know as a woman, like, damn. And you sizing it up, because women got a mean size up game, and you looking like,
scratching your head like,
yeah.
What's
You
going
know
on?
what I'm saying? You're hitting one of these, and you're looking like, well, she's beneath him.
Right.
Like, real talk, she's beneath him. And you know, because you know women, like women know women and all that shit, and you like, yo, no matter how hard he try, she ain't never gonna respect him. You know what I'm saying? From a woman's point of view, what you think about that?
I think that she's tapping into something in him that he may feel like he probably just really likes that for some reason. There's something about her that's drawing him to her that we don't see. Because is he that much of a square if he likes that?
Well, you got to understand, square or no square, truth be told, for a lot of men, there is a good-natured part of us that when we come across a woman that we really like, we do want to give them an opportunity to elevate. You know what I'm saying? We do want to give them an opportunity to do what they got to do in regards to the relationship. You know, a lot of dudes don't just wash their hands off top with a woman that he really wants. You know what I'm saying? And that's a part of the good-natured side of a lot of dudes, man. Like, a lot of dudes don't cut sling just like that. We put an expiration date on it. Be like, yo, if she don't act right by her birthday, I'm out. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? A lot of dudes, man, you know, we talk to our mom about it. You might talk to your pops if he around. You know what I'm saying? You may get counsel from, you know, wise men that's in your circle. A lot of dudes just don't cut sling. You know, in the military, we say cut sling. That was the sign. You see it from a mile away. Yo, cut sling. A lot of dudes just don't do that. You see what I'm saying? Believe it or not. You dig? So, you know, that's where the expiration date piece. And I can say women do the same thing too. You know what I mean? But typically with women is when they find another guy.
So you're saying that men inherently want to cultivate a woman that
The
they
woman he
choose.
wants.
The
Don't get it
woman
twisted.
that he wants. He wants
Don't
to
get it twisted.
He wants to cultivate her. He wants to elevate her. He wants to, you know, water her plant.
The woman that he wants, yes. You know what I'm saying? Or the woman that he's attached to at that time.
Okay.
The woman that he's aligned with at that moment. A lot of dudes just don't want to throw it away, especially after you invested resources, man hours, money, obviously, you know, time. You can't get your time back and all of that. You know, God forbid, you know, mess around, got this girl pregnant on some shit. You know, at the end of the day, man, you know what I mean? A lot of dudes want to save that. So, you know, we don't want to cut sling too fast. You know what I mean? If you could salvage the situation, man, because a lot of dudes, man, it's not an easy thing getting back out here and getting another woman on your program. But the one you dealing with, for whatever reason, she ain't digging your program. So a lot of dudes be in limbo. Like, yo, wanna throw an expiration date on that thing. And a lot of dudes can rationalize that in their own mind. Like, you know what? I can sleep good at night knowing that I gave this a fair shot.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I gave it a fair shot. Now with women, let me, y'all hit the like button for people that's live, that's watching. See what women do. When women check out a relationship, everything is all good. They may not say nothing. They waiting for the next guy. That's what they call it, the monkey bar shit. But it's a lot of truth.
Yeah, that is true. That's true.
It's a lot of truth in that, right? Because you're laughing kind of hard, smiling and shit. But at the end of the day, but that's how it is. A lot of women waiting for the next guy to come, and that's the difference. So that's a good nature versus a not so good nature. Because a woman that stay in a situation to a better situation pop up, she done checked out 6 months ago. Still sleeping with the guy, whoop, whoop, whoop. You know what I'm saying? Still showing up at his mama house and eating over there. You know what I mean? But in the back of her mind, she checked out. She waiting for the next dude. And when the next dude come along, it's a wrap. This is when that woman going to turn into a straight bitch.
That's
Appreciate true. That super chat, Zay. Stay woke. She going to turn into a bitch. Dog, this is a PSA to the real ones. Y'all hold on. Let me sip this caramel macchiato.
Wow.
At the end of the day, this is a PSA to the real ones, man. And I need y'all to pay attention. You dig? If abruptly, y'all listen, abruptly, if your woman turn into a bitch, if all of a sudden the sex stops, she doing everything in her power not to sleep with you, you dig? She not cooking like she used to. She's trying to turn you off on purpose. She's trying to keep the lust, the attraction, all of that down around you because it's a new guy in the atmosphere. That's just what it is. I'm talking about abruptly. Like one day y'all was on the picnic, the next day, you know, she leaving mad dishes in the sink and shit like that. Dog, you already know what time it is. She's trying to make you uncomfortable and shit. And that's a really bad nature about women and shit, because they'll put men through that. It's that area right there that a lot of men lose themselves in, that place of unknown, because little do the man know, he don't know the girl been dealing and talking to another guy for the last 90 days.
You know what? I never even heard a man, speak on that with that perspective, because that is the truth. We do that. Damn, I never heard that.
Y'all the worst in regards to that, man. Trust me, I know. Like,
yeah,
let me tell y'all a story. This is a story from the Boogeyman. This is a Boogeyman Chronicle. Get it here first on the Nerve of You podcast, man. This is a true story, man. Some years back, it's 2022, maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever. Long story short, I was with my ex or whatever, and we was living together and all of this. And real talk, she started dealing with this guy on her job. Fellas, this is where it usually happens. Truth be told, the workplace, husbands and all that shit. And, it was what it was. I was in the streets doing my thing too, so it wasn't a lot I could say. But we were still living together. And it got bad. It went from her coming home from work, spending that extra 20 minutes in the car talking. That 20 minutes led to 30 minutes. And then she got bold. You dig? And went from being on the car to being on the porch. To literally damn near walking in the house talking to the guy. And I'm, in the kitchen or I'm in the living room and shit. It's a true story. And you know me, I'm a spazzer. I like to spaz. That's just what I do. I'm going to spaz.
We know.
We're not going to play that. I'm going to spaz. But again, it still didn't stop because she was already attached to this man.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. And Excuse me, I got some acid reflux. But so, over time, she became a real bitch to me. You know what I mean? So I already know this process like the back of my hand. I'm like, wow. But because I am who I am, I went up to the job and spazzed. And the only reason I really did this because the dude was really affecting my home life. And I was in a tight situation, fellas. You know what I mean? I really couldn't get up and just move out at that time because I was living out of state. So, it wasn't like I was in Baltimore where I can just pack a bag and move with the homies. I was living out of state, way out of state. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it was hard for me to leave at that time and shit. So I was kind of stuck there for a while to deal with this, man. And man, that should have folded you up, man. Real talk. That should have really folded you up as a man. And I had to deal with this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? So, I did lose myself in that situation. I really did. You know what I mean? So that's just my message to the fellas, man. You got to know the signs. And truth be told, for the fellas, you should never be in that situation where you can't leave, where you can't bounce. You should never be in that situation where you can't get away. You shouldn't be beholden to somebody like that. And that was a mistake that I made. I take full accountability for, but I learned a lot. That propelled me to the C-Boogie you see sitting here right now. But at the end of the day, I lost myself, man. I lost weight. I stressed out. I caught a case. All that shit. I mean, this shit was deep, dog. You know what I'm saying? This shit was deep, man. Like, when I say I went up to the job and spaz, I went up there to spaz. Like, I planned on leaving in handcuffs if need be. But it be like that, man. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't a player thing to do, but fuck that. You're not about to mess with my home life.
Yeah.
And I end up leaving. So anyway, long story short, I caught a case. Right after I got off probation, real talk, 2 days later, I packed my shit and I was out. That's just how it was. You know what I'm saying? And no hard feelings, because we don't hold no grudges. Let me tell you something, fellas. Women, too, whoever listening. Whatever you go through in life, Jones, like, regardless of the situation, it's for your development. The lesson is bigger than the loss, man. And I want y'all to really remember this shit. The lesson is always bigger than the loss. But a lot of times, man, we can't see the lesson because we still stuck in the thick of it, man. We in the muck, we in the mud with this shit. Because the wisdom, like I tell y'all, is aerial, man. You got to rise above it if you want it.
Yeah.
Nigga, I had to eat that on some man shit.
Yeah, the wisdom comes after you reflect on that particular story. So,
I mean, now I look back at it and I can laugh at it. At the time, it wasn't funny.
right.
It's a lot of men in these situations right now, and they don't know what to do. Put an expiration date on it. Like, let me tell you something, fellas. If you in that situation or close to it, or about to be or whatever, something similar to what I just said, on the real tip, man, put an expiration date on that shit and get up out of there. You know what I'm saying? Because once you compromise your manhood and you lose yourself, it'll take you years to get back. It took me a couple years to shake that shit off, man. I hit a major depression, man. Like, men, we lose ourselves, and women, because a man's love is deep, dog. And I really love that girl. I'm going to keep it a buck, you know what I'm saying, at the time and shit. But it just so happened we wasn't good for each other. We was toxic, man. We was toxic for each other. And that's just the reality. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. It was a woman I met when I was a young man, first joined the military, and we call ourselves getting back together. That's a long story, but the reality is we was toxic for one another, man. Wow. We was toxic. And that's just what it was, man. Some people, you're vinegar and oil, man. Y'all might have good sex. She might have some good laughs and some good times from time to time. But in the end, y'all don't align with each other's peace. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are aligning with each other's dysfunction. We got to know the difference with this shit, man. Like, let me show you something, dog. When peace is in an atmosphere, you dig, honestly, man, you will start to notice that, well, first you're going to see the physical changes, man. That's one thing you got to notice, the physical changes in yourself. You know what I mean? You're a lot more relaxed. Obviously, you're sleeping better. The stress is down. Your face is clearing up and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, your sex drive is balanced. You know, but when peace is in the atmosphere, dog, you're able to gather your thoughts and put things in perspective a lot easier than when peace is not there, man. You're able to make decisions a lot quicker because there's that peaceful energy in the atmosphere that just keeps you grounded, man. You know what I'm saying? And truth be told, man, you'll really know when peace is around because people gonna confirm it as well. Your friends gonna be telling you that's something different about you. Your parents gonna be calling you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna get the confirmation along your journey. You know peace. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be careful too, because a lot of people want to align with your peace. They want to attach themselves to that energy.
Oh, yeah.
You dig? So a lot of times we peaceful people, you could be a peaceful person, but a person of dysfunction, they want to come along. You see what I'm saying? Hook themselves up to your wagon and ride that peace because they see the doors opening. They see the creative space you in. They see the promotions you getting on your job. They see the discipline. They see the smile, your skin glowing.
Right.
You're looking younger. All this shit. Appreciate that $10 cash app, Rel. The lessons over losses. That's a major key. That's a Snapple top. Appreciate that cash app. Excuse me, that super chat rather.
Wise words.
But again, the lesson is always bigger than the loss, man. But look, don't overreact to situations either, man. You know what I mean? As men, right? We don't really have a lot of mechanisms to help us get over, you know, these type of situations where our manhood was compromised. A lot of dudes spaz. A lot of dudes go crazy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of dudes,
Sleep with a lot of women that they don't have no business sleeping with.
They start to distract themselves with sex and other reckless behaviors. You know, I've been there too as well. You dig? All type of stuff, man. When really, I mean, honestly, man, you got to take some time to yourself after a bad relationship where you lost yourself, and you really got to heal.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to heal. And let me tell you something: the dangers of not healing. Let me tell you the dangers of this shit. Give me 1 second. Yo, shout out to Starbucks too, man. Y'all got to cut that check, man.
It's
real
smooth,
talk.
right?
It's smooth, but I be giving a lot of people promotion. They got to cut that check. Let me tell y'all something, man. The dangers of not healing, dog. Look, every time you go through a transformative situation in life or life-altering situation, man, you know, it's a boomerang effect that comes right back to your inner core, your inner environment, which is your heart. But I know as men, we don't like to say heart because we alpha males and all that. But that's what your heart is. It's your inner environment, man. It's your inner culture. You know what I'm saying?
Your soul.
And no, not your soul. This is your heart. Your soul is something different. But you wanted something else too. I'll get to that. So every time you go through a transformative or life-altering situation, there's a boomerang effect that comes right back. And, you know, it's like a shock effect right to your inner core, and you store that inside you, man. So what I'm saying is, if you go through 2, 3, 4 life-altering situations, transformative situations, without ever healing yourself, that's all you ever going to align with, because whenever peace comes, that's what comes in your heart too. But your heart has calcified over time. You become a hardened person, man. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't even know somebody that cared about you if they slapped the shit out you. Why? Because you ain't take time to purge your heart, man, to really heal yourself, man. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, that's really one of the dangers of it. And a lot of time, man, we take, and we guilty, men and women, we take the loss from the last situation that we put ourselves in, right? And we take it out on the next person that really like us and shit. And that's never good, man. You know what I'm saying? Typically, you know, the next person that come and they really try to care on you and love on you and really treat you the way you need to be treated, dog, A lot of times we don't want to hear it, man. We paranoid. We overly cautious. We done set up so many boundaries that nobody can even get in. You can't even get out. You know, a lot of this stuff is a very dangerous place to be. And that's why taking time to purge and heal yourself and, you know what I'm saying, get a lot of stuff off your mind. As men, dog, we need this, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of men, we don't even have a lot of platforms or mechanisms or places where we can come and have real talk. Let me tell you something about C Boogie Real Talk. C Boogie Real Talk, you can't come around me with the bravado and the macho wacho talk. You got to keep it a buck. That's like when we go to the self-improvement summits, right? That's a place where we keep it so real, people leave out crying, man. Like, we don't hold nothing back. Why? Because we operating in the truth. And the truth is, you need to heal yourself, man. See, I was just talking about this earlier, man. I think it's a good time to bring it up. When you ain't operating in truth, man, you know what I'm saying? It can really lead you to a very delusional world where you think nothing is your fault. You see what I'm saying? A lot of us, man, we don't want to deal with truth because with truth comes responsibility, man. I'm going to say that one more time. A lot of people don't like truth because once you are enlightened, once you come in contact with real truth, there is a responsibility that comes with that. Responsibility that, look, you're going to do the right thing at the end of the day. You see what I'm saying? It's hard not to. And a lot of people just want to stay away from it. So if you know that you need to go on a diet, you're going to stay away from all health and fitness books and gyms. Because once you read it, you know, and I know better.
I ain't living right. Yeah.
There it is, man. So, but truth is good, man. Truth is good. You know, truth, without truth, you're not going to propel yourself to change, man. On social media, right? We at the point where we don't have biases no more. This is social media generation. We don't have biases no more. We really discriminate. We only listen to the people that's going to make us feel good. This is a dangerous place to be, too. A lot of us are in this place where if it doesn't give us that feeling, that rush will make us feel good, we don't want to hear it. You can be with a content creator for 2 years straight. Patreon, Cash App, Super Chat, Instagram, buying their books. But the moment they say something you don't like, which is probably truth, you want to bounce. You unsubscribe. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot of this type of shit happens, man. And I'm like, damn, dog. You know, this is how far we're straying away from the truth. The truth is not always a pretty thing. It's just not, man. You know what I mean? Good medicine, a lot of times, man, it tastes like shit, dog. So, but this is how dangerous it is because now with social media, we can pick and choose from millions and millions of people. But let's be real, we only picking from the people that we want to hear a message that's conducive to the way we live in. It may not be truth. You see what I'm saying? It may not be the truth at all. Not even close to it. It just make you feel good. You see what I'm saying? It's confirming your biases. You dig? Dog, that's a dangerous place to be, man. So that's just one of my little lessons on truth, man. Dog, if you ain't grounded in any kind of truth about your life, what is the mechanism? What's going to propel you for change? Let me know something, because I don't know another way. I don't know another way. A lot of us know that we need to lose a little bit of weight, but the only mechanism to propel us for change is that freaking heart attack. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, it's crazy. But back to the topic, man. Like, we're going to get back to some man shit. Like, we're going to get back to some man shit, man. Look, here it is, man. Fellas, put an expiration date on that shit. And I'm going to tell you why, man. If you're a good dude and you know you're a good dude, right, don't ever become a shell of yourself, man. And women can reduce a man to nothing. I've seen it. I've been through it, right? And they do it with their actions. Most of all, they do it with their tongue. You know what I mean? As men, we got egos and shit like that. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you how I know my ego's gotten out of control. When I'm around a woman and she does a couple things and I get so irritated, I damn near want to just walk off because I'm like, hell nah, I ain't got to. But that's when I know my ego's too big because somebody hurt it. Your ego should never be that big where somebody constantly beating on it and hurting it. And I got to check that. I'm going through the process right now of purging my shit. Because if not, I'm going to make a bad decision in my life. I feel it if I don't check my ego at the door. Your ego should never be that big where somebody's constantly striking against it. But that's when you know it's grown out of control. Nobody should be bothering you like that. But this is what women do to men. And this is why, as men, we constantly got to check ourselves. You see what I'm saying? We constantly got to regulate and recalibrate because at the end of the day, if you ain't rolling right emotionally, if your emotions and your logic is not meeting at some point where you can make sense out of a lot of shit as a man, you're going to have a very, very tough time in life and a tough time with women. And women know, guys, you know me, ego way too big. Like, you know what I mean? Let's talk about that from a woman's point of view. You dig? How do women process a man with a ego that's just way over his head? You see what I'm saying? Like, this guy has completely lost sense of reality.
I think if the ego fits who the man is, I think we accept it a lot better than if we think that he's beneath us or if we think that he's...
Get close to your mic.
Oh, sorry. Can you guys hear me?
Go ahead.
Okay. If he thinks that... if we think that his ego match who he is, we'll accept it. But if we think that it's imbalanced, there's an imbalance there, then we're like, we're checking out. We're not gonna feed it. We're not gonna.
But going a little deeper for the audience, let's just break it down one more level deeper for me, please. Because you mentioned like you're not gonna feed it. Why? What process do women go through? Like, what's the determining factor for a woman not to feed a man's ego? Is it a safety issue? Is it an issue where she just like, I just can't deal with this for long term? Like, you turned off sexually. What's the determining factor? And hold on, appreciate that Cash App, J Dub.
That's a good question.
Yo, J Dub sent us a Cash App.
Hey, J Dub. Okay, thank you. Dang, that's a hard question. What determines...
Or is it just all of the above? You just like, nah, fuck that.
If we do not like him, we will not feed his ego.
Oh, so you gotta like him.
We gotta like him.
That's the determining factor.
We gotta
like
like
is it
him.
Sexual attraction or just all
around? It has
around?
to be all of the above. It has to be, do we admire him? Do we look up to him? Can he teach us some things? Are we sexually attracted to him? We have to like him in order to want to feed his ego. We have to, yeah.
I could dig it. I mean, that's just the reality of it. But at the end of the day, though, you know, for me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm like this, right? You know, this is... Go ahead.
To add to what I said, I was watching the interview with Nicki Minaj and Joe Budden today, and she said that she said that there would be women that will come to the studio and like they will act as Lil Wayne's muse, and they get a lot of, after they say a line in their raps, they will look over to the women like to see if they like what they said. So if they see them smiling in the studio, they'll feel more accepted. They'll feel like, okay, this is a good line because the girls are feeling it. The women are feeling it. And Nicki Minaj said, I'm not downplaying the women. They played a huge part in, I guess, feeding their ego. But I think they weren't feeding the ego. They were truthfully, I guess, feeding the ego by saying, okay, that's a good line. I like it. Versus, you know, not saying anything at all, not having a reaction.
Well, that's not
Do you think that can?
Well, that's not nothing new with women coming to the studio. I heard a lot of producers, I heard a lot of entertainers in general say that they would always bring women in the studio to get their reaction. And if the woman reacted, was a hit. If the woman didn't react, then it wasn't a hit. A lot of times that is a determining factor. But see, I'm like this, right? You know, I kind of lost my train of thought. Y'all give me 2 seconds to get it back.
The feeding of egos?
Nah, I was done with that. Let me just move on. I'm sorry, y'all. I completely forgot what I was finna say. But to just drive the conversation forward, right, on the expiration date piece. Look, fellas, I'm like this, man. You know, I never fault a man for trying to make it work with his lady. Let me tell you something, Jones. Real talk. We talk all this stuff online. Honestly, man, we get online and we become anybody we want to be, right? You know, we get online and we hold on, I was adding a moderator in here. Like we get online and we say a lot of things in theory, but in real life it ain't that easy. Let me give you an example. A lot of guys say if a woman cheat on them, girlfriend or wife, they'll leave her. That's not always the case, man. That's not always the case, bro. I'm not telling you to stay or leave, but what I'm saying is we get online and we talk this macho shit until it's time to stand on business, and then you realize, damn, man, I put in time with this person or whatever the case. She left me. Do I want her back? This is real life shit that men are going through every day, and it's not a lot of people teaching. It's a lot of people saying, well, you should do this or you should do that. Nigga, it ain't that easy. You've been with a woman for 10 years. Y'all live together, probably got a kid together. Woo, 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 woo. You just gonna leave her? A lot of dudes wrestle with this every day. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, how you reason with that in your own mind as a man, that's on you. But what I'm saying is it ain't that easy. And this is why, you know, I just got fed up with a lot of these niggas online because they talk that shit. As soon as they see their girl with another dude and she happy, they want to send a text message, hey, big head, and all this shit. That's why I call you niggas bluff. I don't believe none of y'all. Personally, it's probably 2% of y'all I actually would even believe, because in real life on this concrete, dog, you get caught up sometime. It ain't that easy, man. I appreciate that Cash App, Marquetta. Her name Marquetta Butts. Salute to you, sweetie. But that's just what it is, though. Like, niggas talk that shit, but it ain't that easy. Same thing with a woman. It ain't that easy for a woman to leave a man. She been with this guy, woo, woo, woo.
Oh, yeah.
Probably got pregnant a couple times. Probably got a baby for this man. Been riding for him, invested in his business. Woo, woo. Ain't that easy. But we talk this shit like, yeah, just leave. No, man, shut the fuck up, man. It's never that easy.
Right.
And we wrestle with this shit.
And we don't even have the skills to deal with the conflict. I think a lot of times we're like, yeah, if something happens, we're going to leave, not even trying to figure out, okay, if I do decide to stay, how do we fix it?
Well, for one, that's a Snapple top fact. That's real. But let me take it a step further. Well, we do got the skills if y'all come to the Self-Improvement Summit, because I teach you on these things. But that's another story for another day.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug, right? Yeah, man. So,
I'm coming to the city near you.
Very soon. But here's the thing. We a lot of us don't have the skills. This is funny. Look, our grandparents was able to do this because they had the skills, right? Mm-hmm. By the time I was born, my grandma and granddad was sleeping in separate rooms. But for whatever reason, they could deal with each other and not deal with each other in the same house. They can be in the same house without hurting each other. They can get along enough to do what they got to do, whatever the case is. But they still had the skills. A lot of us can't even get to that point.
Right.
We don't have the conflict resolution. We don't have the type of skills that we need for none of this stuff, man. And this is why people so eager to say what they want, but they capping. Because you know how I know? I can go through my phone on my DM or whatever, my email, and I can pull up the same way you can or anybody watching can. We can pull up so many texts or emails or messages from our exes. Either they want you back or they just want to be in your energy again or whatever. So we know a lot of people just not cutting it off. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn these things like, yo, I don't do no backtracking no more after that one situation. But, you know, at the end of the day, if I didn't go through that hard time, if I didn't go through that time of losing myself, I would be a backtracker. You see what I'm... Now I'm a backpacker because I'm... You like that, don't you?
I like that.
Because when I throw that backpack on, nigga, I'm out. I got my stuff and I became a backpacker. But before that, I did go back with a couple women, but now I don't. I had to hit rock bottom. And this is what a lot of people, men and women, what we trying to avoid. We be trying to avoid the scar tissue lessons in life. Transformative, life-altering shit that can change your whole orientation as a person. That's what build that scar tissue. You got scar tissue. I got scar tissue. Most of the people in my chat room, you got that scar tissue, you did. It just is what it is. Because we had to go through this shit, man. You had to hit rock bottom. But see, at the end of the day, yo, man, a lot of people, man, y'all want to avoid this shit. You can't, dog. You got to really stay in that pocket like a... I like my quarterbacks 6'5", 260, big tree trunk legs. I don't like a mobile quarterback. I like my quarterbacks to stand in that pocket and take that. Huh?
Sturdy.
Very sturdy. You dig? That's how I like my quarterbacks, man. But that's just an example for how you got to live, man. You got to stand in that pocket and go through it sometimes, man. This is where you learn your lessons at. We don't even want to be lesson learners. We get tidbits of information these days, right? We get tidbits of information because we don't read the whole book. Don't even fuck with the audio book. We get a 30-second clip, a 60-second clip, a 20-minute, 10-minute clip on YouTube, an hour podcast, and don't do any more research than that. We don't even know how to do the process of elimination on facts to see if it's real or not. Yeah. We don't even know how practical information is to our life and to even see if it works. But this is where we at. We so far from the truth right now and getting to the core of truth. And this is why people aren't changing. And this is why a lot of people can't get into self-improvement because they don't want to deal with truth. They don't. Anytime somebody asks me whether I'm doing a consultation, whether I'm live, whether I'm at the summit, just on the street or whatever I'm at, and they ask me a question, well, how did you start your journey on self-improvement, or how did you change certain things in your behavior that was destroying your life at one point? How did you drop certain habits? I always say the same shit. Start with truth. Where else would you go? Start with a lie?
Yeah, you can.
Let's start with a lie, right? It's, like a lot of people just gonna start with a lot of people so far in their delusions they would start with a lie.
Yeah, because
like,
they
you know that,
believe
right?
it. Yeah.
Like it's sick. It's sick to think about, but you start with truth. You write it down, talk to yourself, get in the mirror, talk to friends, whatever. I don't care what you got to do, right? You know what I'm saying? Gather the intel, gather the information, and you start with truth on yourself. All right, what I got to change, what I got to do. I lost myself somewhere. Why did I lose myself? And you trace that line back, and you trace it back as far as you can get it on why you even ended up in that situation. A lot of times we didn't know our value. Yo, let me tell y'all something, because I'm really cooking right now, truth be told. Y'all hit that Cash App button, $BaltimoreBoogie. Hey, I appreciate everything. Let me just say this. Every time somebody super chat or send Cash Apps or whatever, it goes to the next self-improvement summit. A lot of people don't know that. And I don't speak about this often, but every time I throw a summit, it's a couple people that come to the summit for free. We talking about plane tickets, we talking about hotel rooms. All of this come out of my pocket, man. All this stuff come out of my pocket, dog. And I've been doing it for years now, but I do it because I love people, I love humanity, and we do it because it's the right thing to do. That's why every time y'all donate or whatever, man, it go to the next summit, dog. I don't know the last time I bought a new pair of shoes or none of that crap. This stuff go to my company and the business and what we got to do. So,
changing lives.
I just wanted to put that out there because it's like, dog, the money will come. But right now, we putting in real groundwork, dog. Like, we putting in real work. But anyway, so what was my last point? I was finna get into something. I said something about, what was I finna get into? Oh, yeah. That's what I was about to say. Like, y'all want to know the truth about some shit? And this is for anybody that's watching me, man. A lot of times, we just didn't do a good job at looking at somebody's heart.
Ooh, you hitting something.
When we meet them. For whatever reason. I'm not here to tell y'all the reason why y'all did it. You did it because you did it. But what I'm saying is, the signs was there. And when we look back, because the truth and the wisdom is aerial, right? You know what I'm saying? All of these things, the knowledge and the wisdom and the lessons is aerial. So when we get away from that situation, we look back and we say, damn, they did do that. Mm-hmm. They did act kind of funny when I brought them to my grandmother's house. Even my grandmother pointed it out. Mm-hmm. My sister told me she wasn't, but I said, nah. My sister a hater. Like, you sit there and put your sister. This is what we do.
Threw everybody under the bus.
We rationalize all of this stuff because of the decisions that we make.
Damn.
Some of us had whole sit downs with family over somebody we was dating, and they told us like, nah, that ain't it. And we, and instead of just listening for a second, we isolated ourselves from our family.
Yeah.
And this is the Kickstarter of losing yourself. When people say they lost themselves in relationships and all that shit.
And they don't know where they are.
This is the start of that process when you started to rationalize somebody else's efforty, and and everybody can see it but you. For whatever reason, you got low self-esteem, you don't know your value, you know what I'm saying? You hurt from the past. You just having a good time. The sex is good. Whatever the case is, you didn't want to see what was inside of a person, man. And they were showing you the whole. They were showing us the whole time. Man, I thought this. And it's all dawning on me at some past situations that I've been in, and it's like, damn. Mm-hmm. I seen it the first night I met the girl. I did. I seen that. But I overlooked it because she looked good in some boy shorts. So I overlooked it because she used to lick the spit off my thigh. Whatever the reason is, we overlooked it, man. Overlooked it.
Where your mind's at?
I find you. I overlooked it, man. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, but that's what happened, man. You dig? And I'm really getting hyped because, like I say, wisdom is aerial. And now that I'm over those situations, I look back and I'm like, damn.
We're not paying attention to everything because life is so complicated. The scenes are so different. It's hard to, focus on everything and pay attention to everything. So when we're going through things, we gotta figure out what should we pay attention to the most. And maybe it's, like you said, the sex. You're paying attention to what you think is important. So you miss out on that. All the details that your family saw.
Yeah, family, friends. Typically, it's friends first. To me, it's friends first because they're the closest ones to us, to be honest. Friends first. You always got the friend that's going to always tell you the truth. And then the family come, and people will start to stack on you like, yo. Because what happens is with friends and family, right? Even if the friends and family don't see the effery in the person, they see you losing yourself.
Oh, okay. What does that mean when you're losing yourself? Are you giving too much? What are you doing?
All of the above. When a person starts to lose himself in a relationship, obviously you're giving more than what. I mean, a relationship is reciprocal, right? A relationship is nothing but a series of exchanges and pleasantries and compliments between two people, right? This is all it is.
Right.
Small exchanges at a time.
Right.
Every day you wake up, right? You and you know whoever you with, you make small exchanges with each other, kind gestures. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all it really is. At the end of the day, just bonding.
Right.
But that's a different story for a different day. So
they see you losing themselves.
They see us losing ourselves, and they know why. But think about a healthy relationship and a healthy situation, right? Don't your family and your friends see you evolving to a better person?
You're right.
The evidence is here, people, but
You're
we
right.
don't want to see it.
You're
It's
right.
been here. From the beginning of time, it always been truth. Period, man.
Right.
My name is my name. God said I am. Y'all know what that means? That's truth, man. When you look in my eyes, dog, and this is for all the men, and I want y'all to repeat after me. This is real talk. This is a real exercise. I don't care if you're driving, stop. You're cooking, stop. You're shaving, stop. If you're masturbating, pause, stop. Stop what you're doing. And I want you to repeat after me. When they look in my eyes.
When they look in my eyes.
They gonna see facts.
They gonna see facts.
And you know what that mean? Appreciate that Cash App. Rel. Look good in some bullshit. I'm looking at the chat. Appreciate that Cash App again, Rel. Salute, soldier. What I'm saying is this. You know, it always been there. And a lot of times, honestly, we didn't know our value, man. We didn't. It was an esteem, thing.
I do have a question.
Hold on. Let me just finish this last part. It could have been an esteem thing, self-esteem rather. A lot of times we based our whole lives off of solely what we want, but we were so out of pocket and delusion, we never thought about what we needed. A lot of times we don't know what we need until we come in contact with it. You dig? And it's, a lot of times typically it's after, a very tight situation, a bad situation or whatever. But what I'm saying is what we need should always trump what we want. I'm never saying you can't have what you want. That is, life is about getting what you. But what I'm saying is, can you live off Snicker bars and can you live off nachos and tacos and Diet Cokes and Dr. Peppers? That's what you want. But don't you got to have some vegetables on your plate? Don't you got to drink water? You need water to live. Don't you got to eat fruit?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that's what you need. You can survive off of nothing but vegetables for the rest of your life.
Right.
And fruit and water. You really can. But I guarantee if you eat a fucking turkey leg every day for the rest of your life,
right,
by the time you 50, your heart might explode. All the damn salt coming out that stuff.
Right.
So, again, we don't even think about what we need most of the time for us when it was too late. And this is where we at. Why? Because we ducking information. We don't want to deal with truth. We got a distorted reality. Yo, all truth is the understanding of reality. That's truth in a nutshell. Or the knowledge of reality, however you want to see it. So if you don't have truth in your life, are you in reality? Hell to the no.
Not at all.
You see what I'm saying? And we don't even think about this shit, but the truth has been the same. You see what I'm saying? So we bring these people in our life. Here's the series of events. We brought somebody in our life when we wasn't even walking in truth. We was in a distorted, we have disassociated ourselves with the motherfucking truth. And we bring somebody into our goddamn life when we not entrenched and grounded in reality and wonder why we lost our fucking self. You dig? What we doing? But we do it every day.
And they doing the same thing. The person you brought into your life probably doing the same exact thing.
Look, man.
Yeah.
Look, man. This shit go deep. We ain't got all the time to get into every single detail and nook and cranny of why we make the decisions that we do. But at the end of the day, it all come back to us.
You know, Michael said C Boogie is one of the realest on YouTube, and I agree. Shout out to Michael Richard.
Indeed. Shout out to Michael Richard, man. Salute, soldier. And I appreciate that, man. I appreciate all the support from anybody. Look, I want y'all to really, chew on what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
You know what?
What?
Main Toe said, I saw her for who I wanted her to be instead of who she was. That's real.
Man, we do that so much, man.
Damn.
That's another thing I could touch on, too.
That's real.
A lot of us don't have an open mind. Y'all follow me. A lot of us don't have an open mind when we leave out the house, right? And it goes back to truth. I'm about to tie all this in for y'all. If y'all follow me, I'm going to bring y'all on the journey. A lot of us don't have an open mind when we leave out the house. Why? Because all the information, all the knowledge, all the wisdom, everything we took in did nothing but confirm our biases. That's not truth. So when we left out the house, not only did we have biases, it grew to discrimination. I'm going to take you somewhere. Discrimination against what, C-Boogie? Against what we need. And we developed a mindset around what we want. We developed a whole distorted, detached, separate reality, right? Because truth is the understanding and the knowledge of reality. But we took truth, threw it out the window. So now we walk in a detached reality, an alternate reality that we created, solely wrapped on what we want.
Hedonistic
As well. And we sat there and we took those ideals because we don't have an open mind, and we put that at somebody else's doorstep. And you know what the relationship became? The relationship became not, can I relate to you? Can I bond with you? Can I get along with you? Can I respect you? Can we respect one another? Can we grow together? The relationship went from, it never was that. It went from, how can I make you bend to my will? How can I manipulate you? How can I get what I want? And when you base a relationship not off relating, getting along, vibing out, growing, vibing, bonding, all the things relationships is, especially in the beginning, when you take that out the picture and you start to look at this shit either as a win or a loss, getting what you want, dog, manipulation is bound to come. It's inevitable. Why? Because you're not enjoying the moments that people have where you grow together. No, you too busy trying to get what you want, and you looking at every fucking thing as a win or a loss. And let me tell you something. When that situation break up, when that situation don't work, you really hurt because your mindset is not even in reality. I just told you. You wasn't dealing with the truth in the first place. You was dealing in the alternate reality that you created in your mind. So you lost. Now you tight. You see what I'm saying? Now you tight. Now you upset. This shit go deep, man. So yes, we do put out our deals and we put our wants and we put our cravings and all this shit on somebody else's doorstep. And then we whip them and we say, you got to bend to this instead of respecting somebody for who. Relationships are about freedom, man. Y'all don't even fucking hear me, man. I want to break something like y'all know me because look, share this live stream, right? Look, relationships are about freedom, man. Truth be told, you relationships aren't about bondage, man. How can you grow in bondage? You can't. One person is going to be stymied and worn down and taken down so another person could be, a lot more superior, at least in their own mind. But truth be told, relationships are about freedom, man. You know what I'm saying? Can you respect the freedom in each other? Can you ultimately, what is it about somebody's freedom, her freedom, or his freedom that ultimately bothers you? You dig? Relationships are about growth, evolution. Relationships are, you know what I'm saying? Relationships are about forgiveness and shit like that. I mean, all the fundamental things that we seem to skip over because we don't want to deal with reality. And at the end of the day, yo, man, we have relegated all of this shit down to control. This is what all this shit is about. Between men and women, this fake-ass gender war, who can control who? And it's whack, it's corny. You dig? I'm telling you, man, it's about control for people, man. Yo, let me tell you something. You ain't got to control nobody when you can give them a reason to want to be there.
Right, but that's too hard, though.
Okay, like as a woman, who would you rather submit to? The guy that's constantly, putting pressure on you for the submission, or the guy that's just doing him, he keeping it player, keeping it cool, he's being a leader, you know what I'm saying? He's doing all the good things, he's a man of his word, he's giving you a reason to want to be. He's such a man, and he ain't never got to use that S word. How many times have you heard me use the word submission? Go.
Never.
I don't talk like that, ladies and gentlemen.
Never.
I'm too focused on my dime game. I'm too focused on being a leader, dog. I'm too focused on being me. Why would I walk around talking about submission when I know it's things that I got to do as a man to unlock these things in a woman so she can be vulnerable and comfortable to submit? I'm more focused on that.
Yeah.
But they don't hear me, though, because they don't want to hear me. Why? Because y'all not living in truth.
They don't want to do the work, the self-improvement on themselves. And they just want to... Why would you want to take somebody's freedom away? That's what you do to prisoners,
Because men and women... I got an answer for that, too. And we're going to wrap this up in a minute. But because men and women aren't truly taking the time to understand one another. You see what I'm saying? Well, we do this at the Self-Improvement Summit. But how many men and women actually are taking time to truly get to know one another and vibe out? The baseline is respect.
Right.
You start with respect and you build your way on top of that. But how many women? No. Again, it comes back to control, and we have left truth. We entered the alternate reality, and now we are hyper focused on what we want.
Right.
Go ahead.
So there was a time in my life where I had a problem listening to people. And it was really bad. Like, I would really tune somebody out and then talk to them about what I wanted to talk to them about. And it was until I was watching a video on Robert Greene, the guy that wrote, the author of the 48 Laws of Power. He was talking about, if you want to learn how to listen more to someone, you have to change your perspective on how you view people, because every person is like a story from a movie. Like, we're so interested in watching movies and learning about how a person became to be that person, but then we downplay a person that we meet in real life as if they're not like a movie, like a character that you can explore, and it made me look at people, and it made me like, okay, the idea that a person is more interesting than you, because you already know yourself.
Right.
I don't know you.
Right.
So if I look at it like, okay, you're more interesting than me, then I will listen to you more.
That's a good perspective. That's a good perspective. I mean,
and it worked.
No, that's facts. In life, right? And I'm winding this down, people. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get up out of here in a minute. But, but y'all share this live, please. In life, I mean, at some point in your journey, in your maturity, you're going to become selfless, man. You know, it'd be very easy to accept people and deal with people when you are entrenched in your truth. You accept everything about yourself, and you become self. A lot of us, we don't even understand that it's a deeper meaning to this shit anyway. I'm talking about life. It ain't all about our pleasure, man. You know, I know we made it about our pleasure and what our wants, but that's not what life. I mean, we was just talking to Jeremy. He just said he left church, helping out with the church. He worked 3 jobs, still got time to volunteer at the church. And when he said that, instantly that was a mirror for me. And it said, Boogie, you got to do more.
Right.
Facts. This is what happened. This was just, you know, before we started the podcast. At the end of the day, that was a mirror for me and say, whoa, I got to do more.
Right.
I got to go volunteer and toss a turkey or something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I got to go change a tire tonight. Let's go find a homeless man and give him some money, because at the end of the day, that ain't nothing but a mirror. But in life, right, you're never going to find your mission or purpose until you switch your mindset to what can I get from the world to how can I make the world a better place when you want to give to the world.
Right.
This is when you will truly find your purpose, and ultimately God will reveal itself to you. And I don't want to get too deep, and you'll start to be enlightened, and you will elevate spiritually, and you'll reach a place of spiritual osmosis. And at that point, you will become a teacher and a leader amongst your people, amongst your peers, and you'll start to glow when you walk in a room and you start to see people looking at you and kind of funny. You operating on a higher vibration. When all the women in your life start to elevate, when they got nothing but good shit to say about you, when you know, just everything you touch start to turn into silver and gold, you realize, all right, my vibration is higher now. You dig? And it's a lot of things that you just won't understand.
Right.
But you seek diligently and you'll find it. So look, excuse me. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. You don't want to wrap it up?
Nah, I think we could do a little 20 minutes, you know?
20 minutes?
All right, 10.
All right. I mean, here's what I'll do for right now. Yo, man, if y'all got any questions, you know what I'm saying? If you're a moderator, you can ask a question. But anybody else, you know what I mean? You can super chat your questions.
I have a question.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll make sure I get to every question. So, like, we're going to go like another 10 minutes.
First, I want to address Main Toes' question. He said, but what if I don't need a woman, but I love women? Should I just stay a bachelor? How would you answer that?
Truth be told, I don't understand the question totally. I'm thinking he's saying just domestically, I don't need a woman around my house to cook, clean, do all that. I'm thinking that's the case. I would say for him, if I'm understanding him correctly, I would say if you ain't ready for a relationship, if you don't want a woman in your life for a time, of course stay a bachelor. But I think some of that is coming out of ignorance too, because you may not think you need a woman until you see the resourcefulness of a woman. Honestly, that's all I can say. He won't get it until he experience it.
Right. Are you fulfilled? And if you feel like you are already fulfilled, then I think it does go back to what you said about the ignorance. How you know what you're missing if you haven't really like experienced like the next level of what a woman can bring to your life, all of what a woman can bring to your life, not just what you don't know, what you know.
I mean, exactly. So that'd be my answer to something like that. I mean, honestly, for right now, if you want to be single, but have an open mind, because honestly, whatever you got going on, you might not think you need a woman. That's what a woman does. Wherever you at, wherever level you on, a good woman, a spiritually grounded, sound woman, a woman about her business going to elevate your whole shit. You know what I'm saying? She going to elevate your whole shit. You'll see the difference. And that's up to you if you want to keep her around or not. You know what I mean? Whatever. But what I'm saying is, you know, a lot of us haven't experienced it on a high level. We think we did. I thought I did. And then I met some women that took it further. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, but yeah, that's just how it is, man. That was a pretty decent question if I read the question properly. But you know,
I do. It poses another question. It's almost as if, you know, there is a conversation going around as, okay, women need men, but men don't need women. I think that's a topic that we should further explore, because there's a lot of men that have that mentality. And I honestly don't get it. I don't get it, because I do believe that we need each other. We need each other.
I mean, obviously we need each other. If men and women stop using each other, that's the end of humanity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't like that concept.
That's the end of humanity. But
that's what the red pill.
I mean, I understand a lot of that red pill, that hardcore red pill shit, I know where it comes from. And I know why a lot of these guys think on that extreme level. But the reality is, I always go back to the concrete. I don't give a fuck what you say on social media. You and I know these content creators is liars anyway.
Right, go to the prison.
Hold on. They liars anyway. You know, that's like, we know this to be fact.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, like, this is what the audience don't. Your favorite YouTuber is a liar. I mean, how else can I say it? That might be my next episode. Your favorite YouTuber is a liar. But what I'm saying is this.
Shots fired.
What I'm saying is this though. You know, on the concrete, man, nobody really want to die alone. I've said things when I was 20, when I was 25, when I was 29, that now that I'm 34, life has showed me something different. Like the old timers say, man, live a little.
Right.
Like, this ain't complicated, man. Like, our grandmothers and grandfathers gave us so much deep advice, so they kept it so simple. You know, that's just live a little bit. I literally said shit when I was 25, and 10 years later, I'll be 35 this year. I'm so far removed from that train of thought that I look back and I can laugh at it like, wow, you know, I was operating in ignorance. But that's where I was at the time. Life has brought me different experiences and different knowledges that I don't have to think like that no more. So I don't judge anybody for thinking how they think. As long as what I don't like about a lot of dudes in YouTube world or social media is they don't have their own mind. And they don't know that their favorite content creator is a fraud and a liar.
Right.
I'm talking about a lot of these hardcore. Let me stop. A lot of these let me stop. Because I would be exposing too much, right?
Don't do it.
And I had to go outside with a bulletproof vest.
Do it.
But what I'm saying is this, though. But make sure it's your own thoughts. Don't listen to these guys. But what I'm saying is, if you growing in life, dog, I swear to God, I've said shit last year that I don't mean today. That I feel different about, rather.
Right.
This is how fast life can go, man. And I don't blame anybody for their thoughts at the time, because you didn't have the proper information. But now, over the past maybe like year, particularly the past 4 or 5 months, I've been educating myself. I've been having so many different experiences, meeting new people. My whole circle has literally changed in the last, 3-4 months, that I can't possibly think the same. I can't. It's an impossibility to think the same.
You're evolving. That's beautiful.
So my thing is just simple, man. Like, wow, you know what? I don't feel like a hypocrite. I feel like a man. I feel like a man that's growing, that's walking into, on his mission, that finally got it right.
And a lot of people will try to shame you by, reminding you about how you used to think, and they won't really accept the new you. And you gotta And that's the hard part, you know.
Well, that person never rocked with you in the first place. If that's how they thinking, honestly, it goes back to what I said earlier. Their whole mission was for you to bend to their will. It never was to propel you to grow, help you grow with you, none of that shit. Their whole purpose was to extract whatever it was in you that they wanted. And then they wanted to keep you at that level, to keep getting what they wanted. And they knew if you even grew an inch, you'll become enlightened. And boom, you know, I can't necessarily get what I want no more because now she know her value.
That brings me back to the question that I wanted to ask you. Whenever someone is chipping, whenever you had that experience with that woman, and you went up to the job, her job.
Yeah.
When something happens that compromises who you are and it aids in devaluing your self-worth, what happens to you? What's the aftermath? In another, are you bringing people into your life that is so, quote unquote beneath you morally? You know, however you view yourself, are you viewing the world through those lens where you're accepting more broken people, or how does that work?
Well, that's what I said, you know, earlier in the podcast. I talked about the importance of healing yourself. If you don't properly heal yourself, you know, obviously you're still broken on your inside. No matter how you feel, look on the outside, you're still broken. That's a large possibility, dog. You're going to bring the wrong person in. You know what I mean? Because your vision is so cloudy, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to get past that. You're not thinking clearly. You can't possibly think clearly after you know what I'm saying, like you've been hurt or disappointed in a major way. That's hard to do. You got to let time do what time does. For real. You got to build that proper scar tissue. The scar tissue, not just the scars. Be an open wound and shit. It's not properly healed yet till you see that tissue, man. You know what I'm saying? So, however long it takes. Some people it may take less than others. All depends on the severity of the wounds. But, yeah, man, you know, it's a large possibility that you'll bring the wrong person back in. Or, on the flip side of that, if you bring the right person in, right, but you treat them like crap because you're so wounded, you're like a hit dog, man. You know what I mean? You haven't dealt with your emotions the right way. You haven't dealt with your mind and your logic. You haven't dealt with the truth. You haven't apologized to people. You haven't did the process of healing right. So, at the end of the day, it never was going to work. Got to build up that scar tissue, ladies and gentlemen.
And yeah, I could see that. Because if you don't heal right, you could get an infection. You know?
All that stuff. You know what I'm saying? You can get it amputated. It's deep.
Right.
It's deep. So, look, we're going to go ahead and stop right here. This episode 7 of the Nerve of You podcast. And, hey, I appreciate everybody for joining us. Thank y'all. We'll be right back. Maybe Sunday, maybe not, but definitely next Tuesday, same time, same channel, more hard-hitting topics, and it's going down, man. So I want to thank y'all, man. Y'all been good. If you want to donate to the channel, you can hit up the Cash App, $BaltimoreBoogie. Hey, I appreciate everything. Subscribe to the Patreon. Got tons of content, live streams on there. Go in the description box and get it. You want to book a consultation, you can email me. Or you can hit my DM, follow me on Instagram. Still got my consultations popping. So look, man, I really appreciate y'all. Share this live stream, man. We trying to grow this live stream. I mean, we trying to grow this podcast, rather. You know, we trying to get it popping on this channel. So I appreciate y'all, man. Episode 7, and we out.